The world has always been restless, but in our age, the restlessness is louder than ever. Screens flash endlessly, voices compete for attention, desires multiply with every advertisement. We scroll, we chase, we consume, and yet peace slips further away. The Stoics lived centuries ago, but they understood this disease of the mind. They warned that the greatest battle is not fought in marketplaces or courts, but within the human soul. To be Stoic is to reclaim control in a world that thrives on making us lose it. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who commanded the Roman Empire, spent his nights writing reminders to himself. He told himself not to be consumed by anger, not to be seduced by praise, not to be afraid of death. He could have written about war or politics, but instead he wrote about the mind. His meditations remain powerful because they are honest. They show a man wrestling with his own weaknesses. If even the ruler of the known world had to fight to master himself, what excuse do we have? Epictetus, born a slave, discovered a freedom deeper than physical liberty. He realized that while others could chain his body, they could not chain his thoughts. He declared that true freedom is not found in wealth or status, but in mastering one's will. In his words, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself has power over my will." His life proves a truth we often forget. No one can make you a prisoner except yourself. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, warned about the greatest poverty: wasting time. He said, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." He reminded us that time is our only true treasure, and yet we treat it carelessly. We guard money with locks and alarms, but we give away hours to gossip, distractions, and worries. A Stoic learns that every moment is sacred, and to waste time is to waste life itself. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple yet profound principle. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. This is the dichotomy of control. The weather, the economy, the opinions of others, these are beyond us. But our thoughts, our actions, and our choices, these are ours. Most people suffer because they reverse this law. They try to control what is outside, and they neglect what is within. The Stoic flips the equation, and in doing so, finds freedom. The Stoics did not seek a painless life, because they knew it does not exist. Instead, they prepared themselves to endure pain with dignity. They practiced voluntary hardship, eating simple meals, wearing rough clothes, sleeping on the ground. Why? Because when you train your body and mind in discomfort, life cannot surprise you. Fortune may strip away luxuries, but it cannot strip away resilience. Death was not taboo for the Stoics. It was a teacher. They practiced memento mori, remembering that death will come. This was not morbid, it was a call to urgency. When you know that time is limited, you stop wasting it on trivial arguments and empty desires. You begin to live with purpose. Every sunrise becomes more precious, every word more meaningful, every act more intentional. Death, in the Stoic view, sharpens life. Anger, to the Stoics, was poison. Seneca called it temporary madness. When anger rules, reason vanishes. Words are spoken that cannot be recalled. Actions are taken that cannot be undone. The Stoic response is not suppression, but transformation. They pause, breathe, and ask, "Is this worth my peace?" Almost always the answer is no. In mastering anger, they protect not only themselves, but the harmony of their community. Fear is another chain. We often suffer more in imagination than in reality. We fear rejection before it happens. We fear failure before we attempt. We fear death long before it arrives. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Do not be disturbed by your imagination of the future." A Stoic learns to cut fear down to its true size by meeting it with reason. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to be ruled by it. Pleasure and desire were also examined carefully. The Stoics did not reject joy, but they warned that unchecked desire leads to slavery. A man addicted to luxury is not free, for his happiness depends on fragile things. A Stoic enjoys what comes, but does not cling to it. He can lose wealth, comfort, or status without losing himself. This detachment does not make life empty, it makes it lighter, freer, and more joyful. The Stoics placed great emphasis on justice, the duty to others. Marcus Aurelius wrote that humans are made for cooperation, like hands or feet working together. A Stoic life is not only about self-mastery, but about service. To act with justice is to live in harmony with the whole of humanity. What is good for the hive is good for the bee. In an age of selfish ambition, this lesson is revolutionary. Daily reflection was another Stoic practice. At night, they reviewed their day. Where did I act wisely? Where did I fail? What must I improve tomorrow? This simple discipline polishes the soul, slowly shaping it toward virtue. No man becomes stoic in a day. It is a lifetime of correction, growth, and self-examination. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. The Stoics understood that reputation is fragile, but character is eternal. They taught that what others think of you is outside your control, but what you think of yourself is within it. Reputation may be built or broken by rumors, but character is built in silence. In a world obsessed with likes, views, and applause, Stoicism calls us back to the only thing that truly matters: living with integrity, even if no one is watching. Perception is power. The Stoics believe that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgment that gives them weight. A setback can be a curse or a teacher. A failure can be humiliation or preparation. By training perception, the Stoic transforms obstacles into opportunities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Gratitude was a constant Stoic habit. Instead of focusing on what they lacked, they gave thanks for what they had: food, air, companionship, the chance to live another day. Gratitude is not denial of hardship, it is perspective. When we see life as a series of gifts, suffering loses some of its sting, and joy becomes easier to find. The Stoics also valued simplicity. They believed that true happiness requires little. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." By needing less, the Stoic becomes untouchable. He can be rich or poor, honored or ignored, and still remain content. His wealth is measured not in possessions, but in peace of mind. Self-control, or temperance, was one of the 4 Stoic virtues. Without it, no man can be free. The Stoic eats, but does not overindulge. He works, but does not become greedy. He loves, but does not become dependent. Balance is his rule. Self-control is not denial, it is mastery, and mastery brings freedom. For the Stoics, philosophy was never abstract theory. It was training. Just as athletes train their bodies, Stoics train their minds. Every insult became practice in patience, every challenge practice in courage, every loss practice in acceptance. Life itself was the gymnasium of the soul. This attitude transforms existence from chaos into classroom, where every difficulty is a lesson. Fate was not an enemy to the Stoics, but a partner. They believed in amor fati, the love of fate. Whatever happens, good or bad, is embraced as part of the greater design. To fight against fate is to waste life in bitterness. To love fate is to live in harmony with it, turning even hardship into strength. In the end, the Stoic legacy is not measured in books or statues, but in lives transformed. They teach us that peace is not found in fortune, applause, or escape, but in mastery of the self. Their voices echo across centuries, reminding us, you do not control the world, but you control your mind. And in that mastery lies the greatest freedom of all, the freedom to live with courage, wisdom, justice, and peace.